Hey guys, it is December 12th and we are reading a great story. It's about a character named Ruth. Have you guys heard of her in the Bible? Here's her verse. Your people will be my people and your God will be my God. One of my favorites. That's from Ruth 1:16. And the story is called The Little Things. There once was a hungry family, a mother and a father and two big boys. They lived in a town called Bethlehem. You heard of that? Which actually means house of bread. But they were hungry. There's people, you know, even in our own town that are hungry, but this was during a time where there was a famine, so there was a lot of hunger. The whole family was starving for bread, for anything to put in their bowls. So they packed up everything they owned and moved far away to live among people who had food, but they also had false gods. They moved in next door to a girl named Ruth. One day, the father died. The mother, whose name was Naomi, was very sad and she cried and cried. But later, Naomi cried with happiness when the day that Ruth smiled yes and married one of her sons. So when Naomi saw Ruth smile yes, and she was so happy that she was going to be her daughter-in-law. For a while, Naomi felt like her plate was heaped full of good, sweet things. But then, this is a sad story, both her sons died. Naomi's heart broke. She felt alone in all the world and hungry for love. Sometimes no one sees how lonely you feel inside. Ruth held Naomi when she began to cry. Naomi said she was going to go back home. She'd left Bethlehem starving and she was going to go back a little bitter. Ruth was smart. Standing there in the dark, she looked for light. That's what smart people do. Brilliant people are the ones who never stop looking for the light of Jesus in everyone. So Naomi, she knew Jesus, right? She knew God. But Ruth didn't really know God, but she was a good person and she was going to be with Naomi. I will go back to you to your home. I will go with you and love you and look for the good, look for the gifts. Ruth hugged Naomi with her smile. Ruth left the land of idols she had grown up with and went back to Naomi's land and moved to Bethlehem, the house of bread. When Ruth returned to Bethlehem with Naomi, she just happened to end up harvesting wheat in a field of a man who had right to buy back the family land of Naomi when she had lost. So Naomi and her husband moved, right? And they lost their land. And so this man had bought their land and was taking care of it and growing the wheat in the farming there. This man's name was Boaz. Boaz just happened to meet Ruth out in this field gathering wheat. And Ruth just happened to tell him her story. And Boaz just happened to want to help. And Boaz just happened to say he would take Ruth to be his wife and he would buy back Naomi's family land. Guess who came to the wedding? Boaz's mother, who just so happened to be the long ago girl who did bad things but became a princess, Rahab. Now, who was expecting that? Naomi and Rahab both cried happy joy at the wedding, and Ruth and Boaz just happened to have a son. Naomi and Rahab were the grandmothers to a little boy named Obed, and Obed happened to have a son named Jesse, who had a son named David, who became, yes, that King David, the greatest king Israel ever had known, until his many, 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 many great-grandson was born one day in Bethlehem, Jesus, the baby king who would be like bread to make sure our hearts would never be hungry for love again. It sure didn't look like any miracles were happening in the story of Naomi and Ruth, did it? No angels appeared, stage left, no donkeys started talking, no fireballs fell from heaven. But did you see that? All the little things that happened, they just happened to be little miracles. All that's happening around you every day is happening to make miracles too. Every little thing is going to be okay because God is working good through every little thing. There is never a night, never a darkness when gifts and miracles and joy aren't coming. They're coming right to you. It is a miracle itself how you don't have to buy any Christmas miracles at all. The big miracle of an unbeatable, unfailing, unwrappable love is happening all around you right now. Jesus is coming like a miracle to everyone. I hope you will see beautiful miracles in the little things that happen every day. Trust God, He's got you. All right, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow.